Russell Marion Nelson Sr., MD, PhD.
In ongoing recognition of Church President Russell M. Nelson's ministry as a global voice for peace, harmony, and reconciliation, he was recognized with the Gandhi King Mandela Peace Prize at historic Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, on April 13, 2023.
Because you, Russell Marion Nelson Sr., carry the light of truth.
The world leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was presented with the award in a pre-recorded video played at the ceremony, attended by an overflow audience of more than 2,600 people.
It must begin with each of us.
President Nelson truly walks the walk. One of the first things he reminded us that we need to root out racism. We need to rise above the polarization of this world. And most recently, he's called on us all to become peacemakers.
God calls it to be so that President Russell Nelson would be the champion today for social justice, racial reckoning, and reconciliation.
You have worked tirelessly to build bridges of understanding rather than create walls of segregation.
Well, we're bringing folks together at events like this. So to convene here this evening to celebrate those who have made outstanding contributions to interfaith harmony, to peace, and to justice, it's a powerful thing.
You're going to receive a medallion, and the medallion will have on it the image, the profile of Gandhi, King, and Mandela.
An oil portrait of President Nelson was also inducted into the school's International Hall of Honor, an honor given to dozens of other notable individuals over the chapel's storied history.
God does not love one race more than another. Differences in nationality, color, and culture do not change the fact that we are truly sons and daughters of God.
There's something very wholesome and very pleasant about President Nelson. You get the impression you're dealing with the real deal.
I have been blown away by what I have seen in Utah.
In early April, a Ghanaian king, the Gamonse, traveled from West Africa to the Rocky Mountains of the United States and to the headquarters of the church. During his visit, the Gamonse saw the church's humanitarian sites, including Welfare Square and the Humanitarian Center. One of the highlights was an opportunity to attend the church's general conference.
We welcome His Majesty King Mon Gamonke of Accra, Ghana, who is here with us today.
While in Utah, the king met with senior church leaders, including the First Presidency. His Majesty also traveled to Brigham Young University in Provo, where he met with students from Ghana.
I think that you are a great people. God bless this relationship.
For the first time, a president of the General Assembly of the United Nations met with the First Presidency of the Church in Salt Lake City. A native of Hungary, Csaba Kőrösi also visited the Family Search Library and Temple Square. The church works closely with various UN relief agencies, making substantial contributions through its humanitarian efforts.
I really loved President Oak's talk.
It was really good, really helpful.
And it really is about loving God and loving his children.
President Dallin H. Oaks, first counselor in the First Presidency, joined by his wife Kristen, held a devotional for young adults in May, where they shared numerous spiritual and life insights.
These are stressful times for all of us, but the gospel of Jesus Christ gives us ample reason to be of good cheer. Your peers are afflicted by anxiety, vulnerable to drugs, addicted to social media, and seeking counseling in record numbers. You are affected by these influences, but for you, the good news outweighs all of that. You know you are children of God.
In the lush green hills of Ohio and in the shadows of the historic Kirtland Temple sits a modest house that, like the temple, has significant meaning to Latter-day Saints.
In this home, Joseph received revelations that continue to guide and strengthen
the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to the present day.
In late August, after several years of careful research and restoration, town dignitaries, neighbors, and members of the Community of Christ and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints all witnessed the dedication of the Joseph and Emma Smith home in Kirtland, Ohio.
This house was the place where they lived together for the longest period of time before Joseph's death. He oversaw the printing of the first edition of the Doctrine and Covenants and the printing of the second edition of the Book of Mormon. Here he also organized the first High Council of the Church and translated a portion of the Book of Abraham.
Prior to the dedication, the Bednars visited the Smith home as well as the Kirtland Temple with Community of Christ Apostle Lachlan E. McKay.
The thing that has stood out the most to me today is the totality of being in the home of Joseph and Emma and being in the Kirtland Temple and thinking of how what they did influences all of us every day of our lives.
This is an unusually unique and special visit for us. Das Vidanya.
It was an inspiring, emotional, and spirit-filled journey as Elder Ronald A. Rasband of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles and his wife Melanie embarked on a European ministry in the spring that included visits to France, Germany, Armenia, and South Africa.
I pray, Heavenly Father, will bless you, everyone, with everything you need individually, one by one.
In France, Elder Rasband met with journalist and mayor Richard Delapierre to talk about the Book of Mormon and the positive impact the Paris, France temple has had in the region.
Okay, let's go to work.
In Germany, Elder and Sister Rasband worked alongside missionaries to create hygiene kits to help victims of the February earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. In Armenia, the Rasbands visited missionaries and members like the Pogashan family, who lost their son, Uvanes, in 2020.
And the sealings that your family made in the temple link your family together forever.
Concluding his ministry, Elder Rasband met with the Deputy President of South Africa and reflected on ways the Church has helped relieve human suffering in that country.
Por eso estoy aquí. En Chile, voy a Uruguay, Argentina, para predicar la palabra de Jesucristo.
On a 10-day journey to 3 countries, Elder Ulysses Suarez, with his wife Josena, shared the love of Jesus Christ with thousands of people in South America. At his first stop in Chile, Elder Suarez was invited to speak on a Chilean TV network, TVN, which is broadcast to 25 countries.
Un apóstol es un hombre llamado por Dios por medio de inspiración al profeta de Dios que está en la tierra para representar a Jesucristo, para testificar de él.
In Uruguay, Elder Suarez met with Uruguay President Luis Lacalle Pou at his residence in Montevideo.
It was a wonderful meeting, and we talked about his initiatives, his programs, his desire to help the people of his country.
The South American ministry concluded in Argentina, where he ministered to church members, spoke at an interfaith conference, and was interviewed by a prominent Argentine journalist.
But we are all children of Heavenly Father, and that vision helps us to connect with people, helps us to feel close to them, and I hope they feel close to us.
Que Dios les bendiga a todos. Chao.
You, women, are a glorious sight.
Relief Society General President Camille N. Johnson, along with her counselors, kicked off the annual BYU Women's Conference in May. This was the first time in 2 years the conference was held in person, again filling BYU's Marriott Center and the BYU campus. In mid-July, President Johnson also participated in a panel discussion on religious freedom at the Notre Dame Law School Summit in London.
As faith groups come together, we can be light.
President Johnson, who was formerly a practicing attorney, was on a panel with 2 other religious leaders for the event.